Welcome back, everybody, to the Search Show 24/7. This is episode 2 of Fox's Gotham, entitled Selina Kyle. So let's get right into it. All right, guys. Selina Kyle is the title of this episode. So obviously, it's going to highlight, the character of Selina Kyle, who in turn becomes a Catwoman, in the future. So first thing right off the bat, you can really tell that they were happy that they got to episode 2 and it wasn't a pilot, because in my review of the pilot episode, I always said that I never really judge a pilot episode like too harshly, because I know what it has to do and I know what it's forced to do. It's forced to give you like so much information. It's forced to like shove down so much down your throat. It's not really, it's always clunky and it's always just not as well done because it has so much to do. So I wasn't as crucial with the pilot as I will be for now on. I really can tell like the second episode is where they really felt comfortable, where they really felt like they didn't have to do too much, where they really didn't have that much pressure, and they just had to tell one like small story, story that's contained in this episode. And that was really good, and it really showed. The acting was a lot better. I never really had a problem with the acting in episode 1, but the acting felt a lot better. Things felt more. I felt like more things were at stake. It felt like they were setting up a lot more things to come. That's what I just really like enjoyed. Now this episode, it has to do with like it's these two people who are like going around finding like these homeless kids around Gotham. They're drugging them to capture them, and then they're sending them off to this unknown person at the time, who they later confirmed that it is like the Dollmaker. We don't get to see him, but we hear things about him, man. But we don't know why he wants all these like kids and stuff. So maybe he might be like the season 1 overarching like main villain, the Dollmaker, because that he's capturing all these homeless kids and stuff, and it's causing a problem for the Gotham police department. It's causing a problem for the mayor, because people are like asking questions once it gets leaked out. They're like, all these kids are missing and stuff. And the mayor, he tries to like kind of shove it under the rug because there's only a few kids, but once like multiple kids start like showing up missing and stuff, then he has a real problem, and it makes him look bad. And you can really tell like how corrupt the city is once you have the mayor like in cahoots with like the police department, and they're trying to sweep it under the rug. And you see like what this city turns people into. And that's what I'm really enjoying about like Gotham so far. Is just how bad the city turns people, and like you really can't really trust anybody, and there's no really good person anymore in this city except for Jim Gordon. And he's struggling to just keep it all together, because when we left him last week, he was considered like he basically murdered Oswald Cobblepot. So he has to live with like this lie, and he has to keep up this like front with everybody. It's like, yo, I'm with you guys. I'm with you guys. I killed somebody, who had to go and stuff. So I like the fact that him and Bullock are really going like toe to toe with like different like things that they don't agree on. They just have different outlooks on Gotham, and how Jim wants to try to clean up and he wants to kind of do the right thing, but Bullock's like, yo, like this is a doomed city. Like you need to just get with the program with everybody else. I mean, we got the mayor, we got everybody. We got captain. Everybody's on this train, but you need to get on this train, Jim. And I just like that back and forth between them, and you really see that that's going to be an overall arcing struggle in this episode, in this series, where Jim's just going, Gordon, he's just going to be forced to really like have like these tough decisions and really be pushed over the edge to like how far will he go to to keep up this lie, or to keep up this front that he's with the, with everybody on the same track, and with being corrupt and stuff. And that's what's really like cool about like this show for me, is just how far like everybody's willing to go. Now, like I said, this episode is entitled, like Selina Kyle, but it was weird because you get a little bit of her in the beginning, but it's like 30 minutes, almost 40 minutes, where you don't really get nothing of her, and all her stuff really comes towards the end. But we get more of what I liked about this episode is that we don't get a lot of Bruce Wayne, but when we do, it's very meaningful. And I didn't really get to shout him out like the last episode, but like Alfred really shined in this episode for me, because he didn't have a lot to do, but he's just such a different Alfred than we're used to. We're so used to like this older Alfred who's like the yes sir, I'll do this for you, Mr. Wayne. But this Alfred, he's a little bit harder. You can tell he's like a military background type of Alfred. He doesn't take a lot of crap from anybody, and he's a hard ass when it comes to Bruce. But you can still tell that he's a hard ass for a reason, because he cares for him, and he's just put in this very like awkward predicament, because he doesn't have kids and anything. He doesn't know what he's really doing. He's just a butler, and he's like been forced upon like all these like obligations to this kid, and he wants to do right by this kid. But you can tell that it's just a struggle for Alfred, and I just like him, because he like, even when he sees Bruce like mess up and stuff, he's not afraid to like slap him around. So I'm like, yo, you don't need to be doing that, you stupid kid. And but also, like, to counteract that, I like the way that they're portraying Bruce. I always felt like, and this is another highlight of this show, is I always felt like Bruce, not only does he just need to be like a damaged kid, he needs to be like a really effed up kid. You know what I mean? And I think this is a show that can actually do something that like no other like outlet has ever done, like other than probably the comics, but not even the movies that much, because we always saw him just he saw the parents die, then he's like an adult, and he goes off to do his thing to come back to Gotham to become Batman. But now that we're stuck in that moment where he's still a kid, I like to see like this effed up, like damaged kind of psychopathic type of kid. And you at first you think like, oh, he's just trying to kill himself, but no, you understand that he's not really, he's instilling in himself now that he needs to be a tougher person, he needs to be a tougher kid. And what he's doing is he's just pushing his body to the limits as a kid. He doesn't even have to go off and get trained by ninjas now. Like, he's doing that now as a kid, and that's what's going to push him to dress up as a bat. And that's what's very interesting about like watching him as a kid like go through all this. Like, he's super damaged, but you see he's just like he's burning himself because he wants to push himself to the limit. And he's still out of touch with everything, because he is a damaged kid, but you can tell he's still a rich kid. You could tell that he wasn't like this. He was probably like, before his parents died, like this very probably snobby like rich kid, because like when towards the end of the episode, when he's like, yo, what can I do? Can I just give these kids money or something and like make them feel better? Or like, what do I do? I have all this money. So I just give like these poor kids money because they all look jacked up and stuff. So you can tell that like he's trying to find his way to do the right thing. But I think it's interesting for me to like picture him like as a kid who's just very privileged and just very like kind of snobby and stuff, and like this very bad circumstances changed him into a very darker type of person. So that's what I like to see, and I think they're doing so far. They're doing a good job. Now, like I said, Selina Kyle, she knows a lot because she's been following Jim around. She's been following like Bruce, and she's just there. Like, she's always at the right place at the right time. So she knows a lot of information, and she's very smart. She's very sly, and I like the way they portrayed her so far. Like, she doesn't have a lot to. She doesn't talk a lot, but when she does, she's very sassy. She's very quick. You can tell she's always smart, and she's very street smart, and that's what like Selina Kyle needs to be. She needs to be a very street smart kid. She needs to be the smartest like little street thug kid in Gotham. And that's what was kind of highlighted in this episode, that she's very street savvy. She knows like how to like duck and dive. She knows how to get out of like sticky situations, and she's not afraid to get like, she's not afraid to scratch a mother effer. You know, she's not afraid to like scratch somebody like in a heartbeat. And I think she's doing such a good job so far. I think, you know, her, like, the only thing I really had a problem with was every time like they tried to call her Selena Kyle, she was like, no, it's Cat. Like, okay, I get it. You know, it wasn't too much on the nose like it was last week, where they just kept like pounding it over your head, like, you know, this is that person, this is that person. You ain't got to call the girl Cat right now. Like, we all get it, but I understand for like these new people who don't really like follow up on like these comic books and stuff. But everybody should know who Selena Kyle is. Everybody knows she's Catwoman. So I don't think, just call her Selena Kyle for now. I don't know. That's just me. That's just like one little gripe. But I thought she was really good, and I thought she played really well off like that main bad guy lady, because she was a cool like kind of villain, because she was very kooky, she was very weird, but she was very dangerous at the same time, and she had these like weird mannerisms with her other partner. But I thought like out of those two bad guys that we saw, I thought she was like the more interesting one. And she looked like the most like just crazy. She just looked very psychopathic, and I like people like that. I like girls like that, just crazy chicks. Like, she looked really crazy. She like this crazy old lady who wasn't afraid to kill somebody, and she had a lot of great moments in this episode. And we get to a more of a follow up on you know, Oswald and what he's doing, and he's like, I think he's like just preparing himself right now. He wants to get away from Gotham. He wants to like just, you know, build himself back up, so when he comes back to Gotham, he'll be stronger. And you see more of like how dark he can get and how crazy he is. I like the way he's being played too. Now, probably other than like the Alfred stuff that I really enjoyed, another thing that was just interesting, and that's they're planting the seeds now for like future episodes and for probably just the series, is the stuff with Fish Mooney and Maroney, and you know, like all of these like these mob bosses, and how she's just trying to claw her way up to the top and be sneaky about it. And I like that. I love that whole scene she had with, I think it was Maroney, or am I? Yeah, I think it was Maroney, where they're just talking like, "Yo, you're like a daughter to me, and but don't mess with me." He basically told her, "Don't mess with me. Like, you think I'm old and stuff, but I can get down with you young kids." So, but I like the fact that she's like the young, energetic, like new mob boss, and she wants to take down the old guy, and I think that's just a really cool thing, and a lot of like friction is going to happen between that. So overall, I really enjoyed the second episode. I really do feel like they're finding their way, like, but we still got a few more episodes to go to really cement this as a TV show that can stand like the test of time. So what do you guys think about, you know, Selena and Kyle this episode? What do you guys think about this episode? So please like this video, comment, subscribe, tell me what you thought. Please like me on Facebook. Please follow me on Twitter. Do all that stuff on YouTube. And as always, this is the Search Show 24/7. Be easy.